If you see this in the ocean, get out fast. In 2016, an Australian fisherman saw this near his boat. At first, he thought it was some kind of alien creature, but he soon realized it was something even scarier. This is actually a swollen whale. When a whale passes away, it swells up, and eventually, so much gas builds up that the whale's body explodes. This sends whale guts everywhere. Whales can explode with so much force that they can injure or end human lives. As soon as he realized the danger he was in, the fisherman, Mark Watkins, sailed away. But this whale definitely looks like it's ready to pop.
Scary facts. Did you know if you smell smoke and there is nothing burning, that could mean you could be surrounded by spirits?
Disturbing moments caught at Disneyland.
Creepy facts. People you don't know in dreams are ghosts. When you sneeze, you die for 1 sec. Clock will never be in your dreams. You have walked past a murderer.
3 scary facts about dreams part 2. 1. If you ever see a white door on an open space, never enter it. You can accidentally end up in a parallel universe in your dreams. 2. If you are having a sexual dream, there is a demon involved. 3. You are actually paralyzed when you dream.
These twins barely spoke to anyone but each other. As children, their parents quickly noticed that Jennifer and June Gibbons weren't like the other kids. They were unusually inseparable and even created their own language. By their teens, they were even mirroring each other's actions. They would move and walk exactly alike. But even after seeing specialists, no one could figure out what was going on with the girls. One speech therapist noticed that it seemed like June wanted to talk but was controlled by her sister. Their diaries revealed that June felt the same. She called her sister a dark shadow, and Jennifer felt that they were fatal enemies. They tried separating the girls, but they rapidly declined into a trance-like state. When they reunited, they withdrew even more and stopped talking to their family almost completely. By the time they were 18, they were rebelling and arrested for arson. They were committed to a maximum security prison where they lived for 12 years. In March 1993, the twins were being transferred to a low security, but when they arrived, Jennifer was unresponsive and pronounced dead at age 29. It seemed like she just fell asleep and never woke up. After this, Jennifer began speaking and interacting with the world as if she had her whole life.
First games you should never play. Part 18. The Game of Waiting. This game gives you the opportunity to earn a very valuable prize. To start this game, you will need to pick a day, but make it special, like your birthday or something like that. Go to your calendar and mark the day before this day. Until that day comes, you can do whatever you like, but gather a match and something to burn. When that day comes, burn whatever you picked. Focus on the flame and say the words, "Tomorrow is a special day." Make it really special. Now reach out, touching the flame, and as it begins to burn, pull back. This is when the game begins. From that point until midnight, do not go to sleep and do not let that flame go out. Once midnight strikes, 2 things could happen. If your fire is still going, then the game has failed. But if it goes out on its own, you've completed the game. When you wake up in the morning, something special to you will disappear. But don't look for it because you're not going to find it. However, 2 items will have taken its place. These items will be of equal value to whatever you lost. This is your prize.
Morbid facts that will give you nightmares. When a prisoner is electrocuted in an electric chair, they can feel absolutely everything. They are fully aware that their body is being fried in real time, and one prisoner that survived said he actually smelled and tasted like cold peanut butter. Human corpses decompose 4 times faster in water than underground, and 8 times faster if left in the open air. It takes around 359 humans to have enough iron to forge a sword from their blood. Just about 3,000 people go missing every single year in the US. The last execution by guillotine was in 1977 in France. That was exactly the same year that the first Star Wars movie came.
So apparently this surveillance footage captured 2 crimes at once. The first crime being a kidnapping. The second is committed by this lady who spilled a gallon of organs or blood. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
Scary facts that will make your skin crawl. BT point 3. If you're wearing earplugs listening to music, and you hear someone calling you or the door knocking, there is no one calling. It's the ghost informing you of their presence. The inventors of the Ouija board claim it got its name when they asked it what it should be called. They also asked it what Ouija meant, and it replied, "Good luck." If you're walking and you feel someone behind you, it's a ghost looking at you. The human body can feel the presence of ghosts.
These are 8 horrifying facts that will probably keep you up at night. Sometimes you laugh, talk, and cry in sleep. It's often a spirit sitting beside you in bed. You are more likely to be bitten by someone in New York than to be bitten by a shark. A human head remains conscious for 20 seconds after being decapitated. If you search up this number on Google, you'll find people with their heads in fridges. Gelatin is made out of bones. That's right. The melted marshmallow in your hot chocolate is melted animal bone. It's good stuff. You have no way of really knowing if everyone experiences reality and consciousness the same way you do. If a panda finds a fresh carcass, they'll eat it. And last but not least, your phone is likely spying on you right now as you're watching this. Yeah, there's a lot more. Like for part 8.
Terrifying facts you never knew. If your immune system ever found out that you have eyeballs, you would go blind. Which means right now your immune system has no clue that you can see. Because if it did, they would attack your eyeballs until you could no longer ever see. This is because your eyeballs have a protein in them called crystalline that doesn't exist anywhere else in your body. So if your immune system found out and checked them out, it would be like, something's wrong here. Studies show that most serial killers are born in November. Today's high school students have the same anxiety levels as insane asylum patients had in the 1950s. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, my anxiety might be up there too. There's a disease called fatal familial insomnia, where people suddenly one day lose their ability to fall asleep, which leads them to slowly go insane. They can't distinguish dreams from reality anymore and go into some type of paranoia. It becomes so severe that they eventually die. Those that make it to the final stage and don't die usually end up in a vegetated state, no longer conscious. And it can happen to any one of you. About 3,000 people go missing every year in the United States. The last execution by guillotine was in 1977. This was in France. And also that was the same year the first Star Wars movie came out. You are always 6 minutes away from death, but breathing resets the clock. In 2011, Anatoly Yakovlevich was arrested for having 12 dolls in his apartment. Only problem is, they weren't normal dolls. They were recently deceased little girls that had been dug up and dressed to be put on display. In 2012, a Burger King employee anonymously posted this to 4chan. It said, "This is the lettuce you eat at Burger King." It only took 20 minutes for people to track down the branch that he worked at, and he was fired. You really never know what people are doing to your food. H.H. Holmes was a serial killer who built a torture hotel in the 19th century. He had secret rooms with gas chambers, trap doors, and stairs that led to nowhere. He loved to play with his victims' minds. It was almost like a real-life Saw movie. There's a bridge in Scotland called the Overtoun Bridge, and for some reason, dogs keep jumping off of it at the same spot. Yeah, they just jump to their deaths. Experts can't figure out why either. Some people speculate it's a magnetic field or maybe a frequency that only they can hear, but others believe it's something supernatural. But whatever is making dogs jump off that bridge to their deaths is still to this day unexplained. Joe Matheny was an infamous serial killer who not only cooked his victims to eat for himself, but also made them into burgers using their remains. He then sold them to unsuspecting customers from a roadside food stand. We really never know what we eating. I'm cooking all my food myself. This is why I don't eat over people's house. In 2021, a new homeowner was shocked to find a boarded up wall. When he ripped the boards off the wall, he discovered a hole. In that hole was a doll clutching a note. The note saying that she killed a family who lived there in the 1960s. Be honest, would you move out? In 1978, there was a pilot named Frederick Valentin. Him and his plane disappeared in Australia. His last communication was, Melbourne. That strange aircraft is hovering above me again. It is hovering and it is not an aircraft. This is a mugshot of William West and William West. Oh, and they're not related at all, but they were both sent to Leavenworth Prison at the exact same time in 1903. And after some confusion, the staff finally figured out they were two different people who had the exact same name and looked identical. This was said to be one of the main reasons why we now use fingerprints to identify somebody. There's biotech being developed as we speak that can make prisoners feel they are serving an 1,000-year sentence in a matter of 8 hours. That's horrifying. Imagine thinking you spent 1,000 years somewhere, and then when you wake up and snap out of it, you realize that it was only a couple hours. Do you know how crazy that is? Anyways, like this video if you want a part 2.
8 terrifying facts you never knew. Prepare to be captivated and terrified by these shocking, creepy, and disturbing facts. The last fact will make your jaw drop. If you die in a dream, your brain will automatically wake you up because it cannot comprehend what happens after death. The deep, unexplored parts of the ocean might be home to unknown and frightening creatures. Because we have not fully explored the ocean, there is a chance that there are huge and unusual creatures lurking in the depths. The Earth is vulnerable to cosmic events beyond our control, such as gamma-ray bursts, supernovae, or solar flares. These phenomena have the potential to release massive amounts of energy and radiation, posing a threat to life on Earth. The deep sea is an extremely harsh and unforgiving environment. The pressure at the deepest parts of the ocean can reach over 1,000 times the atmospheric pressure at sea level, which is equivalent to the weight of 50 jumbo jets resting on your chest. The time between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. is considered mysterious. It is believed to be a period when spirits and supernatural forces have the most influence. The human body is said to be at its weakest during this hour, and it is believed that 99% of natural deaths occur during this time. Sometimes individuals may laugh, talk, or cry in their sleep, and it is often attributed to the presence of 3 spirits sitting in the room beside their bed. After the death of her husband, and with no breadwinner in the house, Mary Ann Bevan decided to enter a contest and won the offensive title of Ugliest Woman in the World, and was hired by a circus. She endured the ridicule of others in order to raise her children and give them a better life. There are over 200 bodies on Mount Everest, and they're used as landmarks. Dr. Carl Tanzler had fallen in love with a woman named Elena, who was one of his patients. When she died, he snuck into her tomb and brought her corpse home. He kept her in the house for 7 years straight as the body rotted away, and he propped her up like a mannequin. He was only caught when someone saw him dancing with the corpse in front of an open window.